Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. We are on episode 5.
Of season 2.
Season 2,
We nailed
episode
it.
5. Okay.
We nailed it.
I'm close enough.
That's good. No, it was good.
I am here with Matt. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. We've been playing a lot of Dauntless lately.
We have. Hey,
so
it's free.
Fun.
We like.
Well, yeah, it's free.
We
to
like
play,
free
so
things.
Free is always nice. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that.
Yeah.
The last couple of days actually. So.
And I felt it'd be kind of cool to cover since we talked a lot about Monster Hunter.
We did.
So, and this is kind of like PC Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's in the same vein. I would say it's kind of like the same kind of thing with battle royales, right? Like Fortnite and
yes.
PUBG, they're kind of that same genre, and Dauntless is definitely in that same genre.
Yeah, the single monster.
Yeah.
Beat the stuff out of it and
Absolutely.
get its parts.
Get all of its parts. So it's good.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about just our experience with it and our good, bad, and ugly.
Okay, I like it. Also a good movie.
Okay, so you kind of cheated.
I did.
So
It was wonderful.
you didn't have to wait in the immensely long queue that I had to wait in.
No, so fun story. The first day it launched, I fired it up, played it for like 3 hours. Like, oh, this is a great game, and I texted you, and I was like, hey, have you tried it? She's like, I'm still waiting in the queue.
Oh my gosh, I was like 90-something thousand in the queue, and then I'm like, then it took 6 hours to get to 0.
Ouch, I'm
so
sorry.
That was awful. Then I was like, okay, Matt says it's good. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
So I beat the tutorial.
Yeah.
Then it crashes, and it's like.
Yeah.
I get to be 50,000 in the queue now.
Oh no.
So it was good enough in the tutorial for me to do it again.
Okay.
And keep going.
That's fair.
But yeah, that was not my favorite moment.
Thing. That's right. It's funny because I actually the same thing happened where I played through the tutorial and it crashed. I was like, oh man, I gotta log back in. So then I logged back in and kept playing. So I can see why my mild frustration would be super irritating for you. So.
But it got better. Like yesterday, there was no queue. And
That's true,
after
which
the
was
long
awesome.
weekend, it's
been a lot smoother,
good. So I'm happy I can actually play now, and I'll have to wait and do something else in the meantime and forget about it.
Absolutely. So what was kind of your favorite things, your least favorite things, that type of thing?
Right now, I think my first favorite thing is the art style. I really like it.
Yeah.
Like it's more cartoony than Monster Hunter, I would
Yep,
say.
I would agree.
I really enjoy it. Like the world and stuff like that. It's just it has a more art style that is appeasing to me.
That's fair. Yeah. I think there's some really good pros to going for a more stylized art approach to video games specifically. They tend to age better.
That's very true. Look at Wind Waker.
Yeah,
She's
Wind Waker is
the
prime example of that. Like I still fire that up on the GameCube and it still looks gorgeous.
100%. Yeah.
I haven't even played the HD remake because every time
I own it. I'm just like I can just put the GameCube on it.
See
that
good. And that's my problem. Like every time I go to buy it because it's gone on sale a couple times, not much, but it's gone on a couple times.
It's Nintendo. It never goes on sale much.
And every time I go to buy it, it's like but I can just play this on the cube and it still looks good.
Yeah.
And certain games have done that really well over the years. Like I still feel like World of Warcraft has aged well.
I think it's still totally fine.
They've made some updates and things like that, absolutely. But I think what's really carried the game is the art style choices that.
100%. If it looked any more realistic than it did, I think it'd been considered ugly in like 5 seconds.
Absolutely. And I would agree with you. I think the art style in Dauntless is one of those things that will age very well with the game.
For sure.
So I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Tell me something you like.
Oh man. So I liked a couple different things. One thing I enjoy. And there's a caveat to this, but I do enjoy the combat in the game. Yeah. I really like their weapon selections are really good. The chain blades are super fun.
They're like that's what I played all the time in Monster Hunter, so it's
exactly.
my second home.
Yeah, and I love the heavy attack with those is like this whip thing around Kratos from God of War, which is really good. So really liked that. I'm using the pike right now. I just unlocked it last night actually. While we were playing, I unlocked it, and I feel like it's super overpowered. I'm okay with that.
Enjoy
right
it for
now.
now.
Yeah,
I
imagine they'll nerf it a bit.
Yeah.
But it is a great weapon. I do enjoy the need to dodge.
There's a whole bunch of that.
This game really relies heavily on your ability to move around the map. A lot of mobility when engaging monsters, and I like that.
Yeah.
So that's been really good. I have enjoyed that.
I really enjoy that you can revive people in the field.
Yes.
That is something that I wish Monster Hunter had because that happened too many times. And I wish it was there.
Well, and what's nice with that too, though, is that there's this I don't know what they call it, but it's basically a rage meter.
Yep.
And when the monster, if you don't beat the monster down fast enough, his rage meter gets to a point that you can't revive. Until you've either chased him away or taken him down.
Oh, I haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah, it's happened to me several times actually because I end up getting queued and then something happens with the queue and it's just me or me and one other person, and then I can't revive them until I've chased the monster down or whatever. So
it hasn't happened to me.
But I like it because it's a good balance, right?
Yeah.
Because it would be super easy if you team 4, you could just always revive.
Yes.
And there would be no challenge. But there are times where if you don't knock the monster down enough, get enough damage on the thing, like it will rage on you, and then you can't revive in that time frame. So
that's fair.
It's kind of cool.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think along with that too, talking about combat and reviving stuff. One of the things I really like in this game is the crafting.
Yeah.
It's a little different. It's handled a little differently than Monster Hunter, and I know I keep referring to Monster Hunter, but honestly, it's the only thing I have to compare to.
Yeah, like you haven't played God Eater and stuff like that,
or
Tokiden, so
I really haven't, to be honest with you.
I've never heard of them, Sarah.
Right. Well, my introduction to all of this was Monster Hunter, and that was your fault, so it was good.
Thank you.
But crafting. What I like about crafting this game is, in some ways, I think it has the layers that Monster Hunter has, but not the.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's a lot of depth, I think, in Monster Hunter
that
they cut out here.
Yeah, they do. I think they streamline some things, which I like, and I feel like it's not quite as convoluted. It's not as overwhelming initially. Now it's great because they still give you the customization with the cores you can infuse into your armor and into your weapons, and I feel like that kind of gives some nice things. I love that you can transmog your gear.
Yeah.
Oh my word! That's one thing with Monster Hunter that I don't like, is that the best gear sometimes is the ugliest.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of that happening in the world.
Yeah, truth. So crafting to me is it's a really great system. I hope they fleshed it out some more. I think there's some more things they can do with it, but I think they did a great job of introducing a layered, complex system that's not convoluted.
Yeah,
and that makes me happy.
Yeah, so, no, I definitely like I can always understand what's better, and I'm still low level, to be fair, but. Yeah. I like how easy it is to be like, okay, that's better. Boom, I'm done.
And wait till you get into elemental stuff, because then it gets awesome. Because then you're carrying like 3 or 4 sets of gear and weapons. Yeah, like that's another thing I like, is it's not necessarily tiered. I mean, in some ways it is, but it's not like the gear I crafted yesterday is now obsolete because I have the next tier of gear, right? And I just dust it and keep going. Like there are pieces of gear that you'll use based on what you're fighting and those types of things. And the gear that quests around that too, which I really like. There's a couple quests, like I've gone through a couple quests where like I had to defeat a behemoth with a blaze weapon, so a fire-based weapon.
Like it makes you do it.
Yeah, it actually is like, if you want this quest, you have to do it this way type of thing. So that's really cool.
A good way to teach.
Yeah, it does. It forces you to try new things and experiment with different weapons and stuff like that. So it's another thing I like.
The one other thing I really like is that there's not a lot of elevation in the town like there was in Monster Hunter. I don't have to.
True.
It's faster to get everywhere in the town, which is something. It wasn't a bad thing about Monster Hunter, but I always had to climb a whole bunch of stairs.
Or take elevators everywhere.
Where this one's just like, I'm just going to run over here a few steps to get to the weapon guy, and it's like, okay, that's easy.
I would agree. And one thing, I don't know if you had time to really explore the town. I
haven't had to use too much of it yet.
Okay, so I spent like 45 minutes the other night just walking around the town for no other reason. I was like, I wonder what's here. And I mean, in all fairness, it is open beta, so things are still developing. And you know what? I actually hope it stays in open beta for a while. Okay. And they really flesh out the game.
Well, they have some time, because I feel like they're going to compete against Monster Hunter World when that comes out. Yeah. And that's not until
on PC,
fall.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, on PC.
Sorry,
absolutely.
yes.
No, it's good. So going around the world, there's a lot of really cool spots that don't have anything in them yet. Like they're set up as if they're going to be something, but there's nothing in that space. There's no NPCs there yet. So I'm curious to see how that works out. But talking about like the crafting and going into the town and things like that, the progression systems with crafting are really cool. I really like that. Okay. So there's like your Slayer progression, basically how awesome you are as a Slayer. But then on top of that, you get things like blacksmithing and alchemy, and all the different crafting things kind of have their own progression trees and leveling. And I like that a lot. It's a really cool system. I kind of hope at some point they introduce like an auction. I don't know how this would work or if it would work, but I think it would be neat to have the ability to basically sell pieces that you craft. Okay. Again, I don't know if they'll ever do it. I just think it'd be kind of fun.
I think that'd be an interesting system to throw in. Like it's not something that I've seen in other types.
Where it's a PvE game, I think you could get away with it.
That's true.
Right? It's not like I can just buy the most overpowered thing and then dominate everybody.
And some people like don't have time to grind up all that way.
It's true.
It's just like buy the better gear and I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And it encourages crafting for more reasons than just self. But
that's true.
So I mean, I think those are some of the things we like. I don't know if there's anything else you want to touch on as far as
likes. That's like there's a lot of things I like. It's really fun, and it scratches that Monster Hunter itch.
I would agree, especially for PC players that don't have PS4 to do Monster Hunter World. I would agree, but I mean, let's be honest, it is an open beta, so there's some things they're still working on there, for sure. I know for myself, one of my biggest. It's not a complaint because it is open beta, and I feel like hopefully they'll flesh this out, especially now, because I think Dauntless started its development before Monster Hunter World.
It came out in September last year as a paid alpha, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
So it has been out before.
Yeah. So one of the things right now, when you jump into the world, like when you go in to hunt a behemoth, the world feels really empty. And I struggle with that a little bit, especially having kind of gone through Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
You know, and
there's wildlife everywhere.
There is, and there's things to collect and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong.
Every 5 seconds.
Well, it's true. And don't get me wrong. I mean, in Dauntless, when you get into the world, you can pick flowers, which are you need potions.
Yes,
all of
mushrooms
the time.
all of the time.
And so that's really nice, but it still feels very stripped down, very bare bones right now. And I'm really hoping they give us more incentive to spend time in the world.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just in there for a quick kill and I'm out of there.
Exactly, yeah. And there is actually a timer too. So I mean, there is that pressure to always. And later on, when you get into some of the level 6, 7 monsters that I'm fighting now, like you're right against that timer, even with 4 people. Boy. Like some of the monsters are really tough, which is great.
Yeah,
it feels awesome when you do it. Anyway, so that's kind of one of the things I'm really hoping they flesh out.
Yes, the one thing that really bothers me in the world is the water effects.
I remember the first time we were playing.
Really, it's the first thing I noticed. It was like I went on the water and like expecting a splash, and it's like nothing. It's like I am stepping in water, right? This is a water. It's like it's just like walking on glass. Yeah. And it really bothers me. No, like every time I'm fighting a monster, it's like I'm expecting something. It's like, it's not coming, Sarah. It's not coming.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Now, I will say, I think the last patch they did add some water effect to it.
Okay.
Still not great. Like it's not gorgeous or anything. But I did start to see like reflections. And things like that
they're working on it. I'm glad they're at least thinking about me
like
and this water effect.
Yeah, I feel like with everything as far as like the server issues they've been working through and stuff like that. Hopefully we'll start to see some of those little things come into play because they really do make a difference in the world.
They do. My immersion is totally broken when I'm not splashing in water.
Stepping in the puddle going, what's going on? The ripples. I want ripples.
I know. It really bothers me.
Absolutely. Which, talking about, hunting the monsters and, the water and all this stuff, one of the things I find interesting and I feel like this should have been there, but it's not, is the ability to track the monsters.
Yeah, I think Monster Hunter spoiled us in that way. Because it didn't used to be that way in Monster Hunter either.
No, okay. So, like, you do have a lantern. So you get this lantern, which is kind of one of your kind of accessories that you carry in game. And you can craft different lanterns that do different things. And I think that it's the base lantern allows you to actually sort of track a monster.
Yeah, it gives you a general direction.
Yeah, kind of like these little, like, sparkly effects go out. But I miss that element of progression where I learn about a monster and I get better at fighting it.
That's true. You had to collect all the data first.
You did, right? And that was always a great part about Monster Hunter that I liked. Is like I felt like there would get to a point where I was like, man, I'm skilled at fighting this monster. Yep. And now when I go to fight this monster, it's like, I totally can toast this thing.
I know all the parts that can fall off.
Exactly, because I've worked towards this. Yep. Right now, like, don't get me wrong, I feel like I'm still learning how to fight, and every monster has very specific rules they follow for engagement, and it's great to learn them. But there's like no measurable.
No.
In what I'm learning there, and I thought it was a great progression system in monsters. I hope they bring it over to Dauntless. Again, not that I want a carbon copy of Hunter here. I don't. I feel like Dauntless has made some really good strides in developing this style of game. But something like that, I think, would be really, really useful. So,
for sure.
But that's just me.
Yesterday when you were playing, I felt bad for you because you were fighting a monster for so long and you broke parts off of it, and then didn't let you keep it.
Oh yeah, because we failed in the end. Yeah, that was sad.
I remember, like, Monster Hunter at least would like reward you with the parts that you broke off and like all the herbs that you collected, but. Yeah, you keep nothing. That was
and I don't know if this is just a beta thing or not.
Yeah,
but it's
I hope
true
so, because that was a waste of time.
Well, that was the thing. Like I had queued up, got a group of 4, but by the time we loaded in, there were only 2 of us.
Yeah.
And this particular monster or behemoth that we were fighting, is extremely tough monster. Like I've only actually killed it once, and it was for a quest. Like it was really hard because it's really, really fast, and it turns on a dime, and it does this like. It does this 3 charge thing where it charges you, turns real quick, charges again, turns real quick, charges again. And then throws fire at you because the other stuff wasn't enough. And yeah, we were fighting this thing, and like the other guy was down. I ended up fighting this thing by myself for probably 15 minutes, and I couldn't kill it fast enough. Was basically what happened. We ran out of time. And yeah, we walked out with like nothing. So it was like, don't even get XP out of this. Like,
that's so weird. Yeah. I hope they fix that because.
Yeah.
That's an icky feeling.
No, it is absolutely. Not that not that you need to get everything, but something would be nice because you've invested like at least a half hour into the hunt. So it's good. I think the final thing, and this earlier when I talked about combat being one of the things I like with the caveat.
Oh, yes.
This is the caveat to combat for me, is that it still feels a little simple.
Yeah, like I button mash my way to winning all the time, and I'm like, yay, A rank. It's like I didn't deserve that A rank though.
Yeah, I will say I feel like outside of dodging, like dodging is a very intentional skill you have to learn in this game.
Like if you don't dodge, you're dead.
No, absolutely. But I feel as far as actually fighting the monster, I don't feel like you really get rewarded for the skill involved in dodging and attacking and things like that.
Yeah, like I don't feel as amazing as I felt in Monster Hunter for doing all those skills.
Like grappling specifically.
Oh, yeah, like when you when you're in I jump off of the mountain, I'm expecting to like land on the monster, and it's like, no, that doesn't happen here.
No, it's true.
I just glitch on the side of them somehow.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I will say there are some aerial attacks you can do off of cliffs, but they're not nearly as complex and skill based as they were in Monster. But so yeah, I feel like sometimes you don't really get that reward for effort as far as developing the skills to use the weapons, but that's just me. So
my final gripe is the character creator.
No blue hair.
There is no blue. Okay, that's just one gripe. But okay, when I started the game, like it's like I don't know if you ever played GTA 5 online.
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, I think you pick your two like ancestors.
Okay.
And then you kind of like blend them to make it what you want.
Yes.
So the first time it let me into the game, I couldn't figure out why my person looked like a dude, and I could no matter what slider I did, if I picked two females, it still looked like a dude. Yeah. I missed there was a button at the bottom where you could change your body type.
Oh,
like it was totally like not part of anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, so then I realized, looking in the menus later, this game has no specified genders.
Yeah.
So it's like I had the hardest time trying to make it look like a girl, and it's like this is really hard. But no blue hair is.
I'm surprised you played.
I know. There's not even green hair. It's like a palette of brown. That's all you get.
It's true. I would agree. It is literally just a spectrum of like one color, one shade.
I was really disappointed. Yeah, come on now.
Absolutely. No, that's true. Now, I mean, despite the gripes and things like that, I still personally think it's a game worth trying out.
Yeah, like I would keep playing it and see where they go, because I think it has a lot of room to grow. But agreed. I feel like that they are willing to like listen to the audience.
Absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, if you don't have a PS4 and didn't have a chance to try Monster
and
Hunter,
Xbox
Xbox, I just forget about it.
No.
But if you didn't have a console to try Monster Hunter World on, I feel like Dauntless is a great place to kind of pick up that kind of genre of game. Even if you're holding out for Monster Hunter
for sure.
For PC, I still think Dauntless. Yeah, Dauntless is a great place to start because it does offer a lot of those. Those mechanics, a lot of those ideas. At the moment, it does feel a little bare bones.
But it's beta.
But it is beta. And it's a
legitimate
free beta. It's a legitimate beta.
Like it works like it should.
Yeah, I agree. And so that's kind of our 2 cents, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
On that. So, well, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode as we kind of talk a little bit about our first impressions on Dauntless.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll talk more about it as the game develops. I feel that we'll probably be playing it for a while, as we did with Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that was a long time with Monster Hunter.
It was, yeah. We need to actually get back into it. That's an aside. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Real Talk. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.